Imagine this: a life-saving diagnosis is missed due to a simple bias in an algorithm. It might sound far-fetched, but this is happening right now in AI-driven healthcare. Many people don't realize that the systems designed to save lives can also lead to devastating outcomes. Have you ever considered who determines what's deemed normal in a healthcare algorithm? The uncomfortable truth is that bias in eye diagnostics is more common than you might think. You might believe that eye is flawless, a hero in the medical field. But what if I told you the data it learns from is often skewed? This is just about numbers, it's about real lives hanging in the balance. Picture a patient from a diverse background entering a clinic. The eye, trained primarily on a narrow demographic, might misinterpret their symptoms as less severe, potentially missing a critical diagnosis. Can you imagine the frustration and fear that could cause? This bias isn't merely an error, it's embedded in the very systems we rely on. Think about how often you turn to these technologies for reassurance, only to find your unique experiences overlooked. The hidden causes of this bias often lie in the datasets used, which reflect historical inequalities and reinforce stereotypes rather than dismantling them. It's alarming to consider that these biases could lead to misdiagnoses, especially in communities that have faced marginalization for decades. Now envision a doctor relying on eye to guide treatment plans, trusting it to analyze data impartially. But what if that trust is misplaced? The stakes are incredibly high and the tension is palpable. As we explore this issue further, the implications become enormous. What responsibility do developers have to ensure their algorithms are fair? And what about the healthcare professionals who depend on these tools? You might be wondering how to navigate this complex landscape. The answer lies in awareness and action, advocating for more inclusive datasets, ensuring better representation in training algorithms, and holding tech companies accountable. Take a moment to reflect on the power we give technology in our lives. What if we viewed eye in healthcare not just as a tool, but as a reflection of our values? The unsettling reality is that eye can either empower us or put us at risk. It's our responsibility to demand transparency and fairness in these systems. So the next time you hear about eye in healthcare, ask yourself, who is it really serving? Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, the future of healthcare is in our hands. What if the eye diagnosing your health is making decisions based on hidden biases? It's a chilling thought. Imagine sitting in a doctor's office, waiting for your results, trusting this technology to provide the best care. But what if it's only as reliable as the data it was trained on? This highlights a crucial issue: the hidden biases within algorithms. Picture an eye system trained mainly on data from a specific demographic. When it encounters someone from a different background, the results can be dramatically skewed. You might think, this doesn't affect me, but what if it does? Visualize this: you go in for a routine checkup. What should have been a straightforward diagnosis turns into a confusing maze. It's not just numbers on a screen, it's your health at stake. How did we get here? The roots of this issue lie in historical data that often mirrors societal inequalities. This isn't merely a tech problem, it's a human one. Algorithms don't think for themselves, they learn from us. If we don't include diverse perspectives, the consequences can be dire. Now, consider what happens when this bias goes unchecked. In an emergency room where decisions must be made in seconds, an eye tool might misinterpret a critical sign simply because it wasn't trained on a diverse enough dataset. The ripple effect can be catastrophic. The harsh reality is that these biases can lead to misdiagnoses, treatment delays, and even loss of life. Just thinking about it can be unsettling. So what can we do? Awareness is the first step. Advocating for transparency in systems can help ensure everyone receives equitable care. Your voice matters. As you reflect on this issue, think about your own experiences with healthcare. How often do you see technology in action? The answers might surprise you. There's a lot more at stake than we often realize. This is just a story about technology. It's a call to action. Demand better because your health deserves more than algorithms built on bias. Stay informed, speak up. Imagine walking into a hospital confident that the technology there will accurately diagnose your condition. But what if I told you there's a troubling issue lurking beneath that reassuring surface? A hidden bias in AI-driven healthcare diagnostics could be putting your health at risk. Many of us are blissfully unaware of this growing concern, often believing that algorithms are the ultimate unbiased decision makers. But what if that's not true? What if the very technology designed to save lives is making critical decisions based on flawed data? Take Sarah, for example. She's experiencing troubling symptoms and visits her doctor, who relies on an AI tool for diagnosis. Unfortunately, this tool was trained on data that mostly represents a different demographic, leading to Sarah's symptoms being overlooked because the AI simply doesn't recognize them. As her condition worsens, this is just a hypothetical scenario, it's happening right now. People are falling through the cracks because the data feeding these systems isn't comprehensive or inclusive. You might think this is rare, but it's far more common than you realize. These biases often go unnoticed, embedded in the very foundation of AI systems. Algorithms are only as good as the data they are trained on. If that data lacks diversity, the results can be dangerously skewed. What does this mean for you? It means that when you rely on AI to diagnose your illness, it might not fully understand who you are. Consider this: a father rushes to the emergency room, clutching his chest. The algorithm evaluates his symptoms but misses crucial indicators because the training data did reflect his health history. How often do we think about the fact that the technology meant to protect us could be misinterpreting our needs? As the stakes rise, so do the questions. How can we trust a system built on shadows of bias? And even more concerning, how many lives are at risk while we remain unaware of these dangers? Before we succumb to despair, there are steps we can take. Advocating for more inclusive datasets and greater transparency in AI systems can help ensure equitable care for everyone. Inclusive datasets are essential, and we must advocate for transparency in the development and use of AI tools. This issue goes beyond technology, it directly impacts our health and lives. So what can you do? Start asking questions and